My name is Sister KathyBrown, and I am serving the parish of Our Lady of Guadalupe in Lindenwold, New Jersey, as a member of the pastoral team. I work with the pastor and 2 associate priests and the director of Hispanic ministry to serve a diverse community of both English and Spanish-speaking families. The Hispanic families are predominantly from El Salvador, Central America, and from Mexico. Currently, my ministry has been centered on visiting Hispanic families whose children are enrolled in our religious education program. Visiting a family creates a connection of trust between them and the parish pastoral team. This personal effort to relate to individual families is an important step in helping them identify with our Catholic community. There are more than 4,100 households registered at Our Lady of Guadalupe, plus estimates of a few hundred more unregistered Hispanic families. The large number of parish families makes personal contact by our pastoral team and priests especially important. A visit from the sisters, a conversation with the DRE, and having their home blessed by one of the priests are opportunities for faith building that our visits provide. During these encounters, we provide information regarding GED classes, sacramental preparation, medical care, hospital visits when requested, and appointments with the priests. Gradually, the families begin to feel known and valued, and their participation in parish life grows. Unfortunately, when these immigrant families don't experience a welcoming faith community, they often gravitate to where they can feel comfortable. That, of course, makes our visits all the more important. Almost all our parents, whether from Central America or Mexico, emigrated here as adolescents or young adults, coming to escape poverty and to create a better life. As might be expected, for them, adjusting to their new reality presents them with a series of stressful challenges beyond what parents native to our area face every day. Among these challenges for our parents are adapting to life in a new country while doing their best to learn English, even while working and raising their family. And most of the people work full-time. Second, working in jobs that typically have long hours, physically demanding, low paying, with inflexible scheduling, and most often without benefits. A third challenge that faces them in their family life is having to navigate healthcare systems that are strange, complicated, and with uncertain availability for interpreters. Can you imagine how difficult it must be for a mother to have to count on her 12-year-old daughter to relate details of her medical condition to her doctor? A fourth challenge is, when in public spaces, it is not uncommon that our immigrant parents are simply ignored, perhaps overlooked for service. And at times, they are insulted for not expressing themselves clearly when trying to speak English. That can be quite humiliating. Most threatening, however, for our parents is that they are always on alert for law enforcement and immigration custom enforcement officers to appear and to take them into custody for deportation. The daily uncertainty of this possibility affects their morale, their physical health, and causes stress beyond imagining. They live with the specter of being separated from their children. So being more aware then of the day-to-day reality of the Hispanic families who live and worship in our communities, how can our sisters be more sensitive to their challenging circumstances? Perhaps it's worth reflecting for a moment first on why we should be more sensitive to them. We are drawn to Jesus in the gospel as he acknowledges and affirms the dignity of each person he engages. Beyond the countless healings of the sick of his own Jewish community, we take note that Jesus tests and rewards the faith of the Syrophoenician woman, a Gentile. He listens to and then heals the servant of the Roman centurion, a member of a military who were oppressing his Jewish community. And Jesus chose to defy Jewish custom to reach out to a marginalized and scandalous Samaritan woman. And we remember an ignored Gentile, a despised member of an oppressive army, a scorned Samaritan woman, each so different than the Jewish members of Jesus' community, and yet so included in Jesus' loving attention and concern. It is undeniable that we see their own dignity affirmed as we imagine Jesus pause in a crowd to look into eyes of these ethnically different, excluded, and needy persons. Jesus so ready to respond with equal compassion for them. In that same spirit of Jesus, then, what exactly today, in the here and now, can we do to support members of the immigrant community whom we encounter, even if we don't minister to them directly? Here are a few practical suggestions. So importantly, in our daily prayer before the Lord, to pray to grow more and more inclusive in openness to the vulnerable and marginalized of our communities, to make an effort to try to see them. So often, the immigrant families who are different than we are. Another suggestion: choose to consciously make eye contact and to smile to immigrants who are gardeners, busboys in restaurants, service people, and immigrants you may pass by in markets and stores. No need to know another language to communicate goodwill and acceptance to them. Another suggestion: have with you the contact information of one of our bilingual sisters, so that if you are approached for help, you may relay that information to them. Well, we all understand that wherever we live, the families in our communities are the ones we are sent to love and to serve. Today, in many cases, new and ethnically different families are forming part of our communities, our parishes. At first, we may think we are not equipped to serve them. Actually, it might be worth stepping back and remembering that first, what we are being invited to do is simply to recognize and to accept them, to help them feel that they are welcome and that they belong and that they have talents that we look forward to them sharing with our communities. We're called to treat them as we would like to be treated ourselves, to treat them as Jesus would. And so, may Jesus use us today as he would in the face of our changing and growing communities, to live justly, love tenderly, and walk humbly with our God. May we carry and treasure one final thought, paraphrasing the great poet Jared Manley Hopkins. To each of us, he offers this inspiring reminder. May we make it our own. He says, I say more. The just person justices, keeps grace, that keeps all their goings graces, acts in God's eye what in God's eye she is, Christ. For Christ plays in 10,000 places, lovely in limbs and lovely in eyes, not his, to the Father, through the features of men's and women's faces. May our immigrant brothers and sisters continue to find Christ in the 1,000 places where we live and work. God bless you.